Perfect.
What is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Network. And of course, my man is back. My boy Cricket. What's up, Cricket?
How you doing, man? I'm all right, man. I was down toward your way.
Yeah, man.
Last week down in Tampa, man. Got to go down there for my girlfriend's brother's wedding. It was a nice ceremony and everything. We had us a real good time down there. Got back to God's country, safe and sound, though, man. How you doing, sir?
That's good, bro. Yo, listen, we are. First of all, let me get the picks out of the way here, man. I didn't take them out when I did it. I'm gonna text. What I said, where are we, man? Let's get this out of the way. First of all, we're good, man. Talking about Tampa before we start the show. My prayers and thoughts are with Tampa right now, who just 12 days earlier, you and I were talking about it. They got hit by Hurricane Helene, one of the biggest hurricanes, as you know. It devastated South Carolina, North Carolina, areas of Georgia, some areas of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And 12 days later, that same area got hit by Helene. It's going to experience another hurricane that's probably going to be Category 3, maybe 4. They haven't even cleaned up yet. And me being in that world, because that's what I do for a living. I work for a municipality, and I know how it is. It's a burden when it comes to cleaning up after a hurricane. It's not that fast. And it's not a good thing, man. Thoughts and prayers are with your family, of course. I know your brother lives out there. I know they're getting out. Smart choice. But hopefully everybody can just come out okay on this one. And
yeah, man, it's like I said, it's been a pretty. We were down there last week, and I got to see a lot of that firsthand, man. I was telling you before we came on live here. I seen a lot of different hotels and different businesses and things with just furniture and stuff piled up outside. It was just ruined, man. You're talking lots of money just laying there on the sidewalk with nothing these people can do about it, and they're just about to get pounded by this again. Yep. Like you said, man, prayers and good vibes and all that thing. All that stuff their way, because I know it's been a real rough situation for the last couple of weeks, and they got some more stuff coming their way. So hopefully everybody's all right.
The battle will be there, but again, hope everything turns out for the best. And our thoughts and prayers are with all the folks. And
if you're down that way, man, get out if you can. Replace the stuff. The material things can be replaced. Just make sure you get you and your family and friends safe somewhere where you guys, whether you got to be together, you got to get out, or whatever you got to do. Just stay safe, man. You can replace all that material stuff.
The only thing that's not replaceable is life.
That's right, man. That's right. So good vibes their way for sure.
Yep. And talking about life, these damn Vikings, bro, they're just still doing damage here. And wow, is it me, or I guess it's time to tag them for real, Cricket? Because I've been not one of those believers, but I know the Jets are not a great team, and Aaron Rodgers it's not the same Aaron Rodgers, and there's a lot of turmoil in the locker room. But damn, man, that defense is legit.
Man, I kind of, I picked these Vikings a couple times this year in good spots. I had them against the 49ers, had them against the Texans, but I've also shorted them in a couple spots.
Me too.
And I keep biting my tongue every time I do, because this team's a pretty good football team, man. They keep they go and they do it in all different environments, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it in their home stadium. They're doing it on the road. They're doing it overseas. They're doing it against all caliber teams. It's not like you can look at that schedule and say that's a weak schedule, man.
No.
It's a schedule that includes a Giants team that just went to the Seahawks and beat them on the road. You got the 49ers in there. We know about them. We know about the Texans. And, like I said, now you got the Jets overseas here.
And even the Packers. All right, Packers.
And the Packers. And they dominated that game, bro.
Yeah,
they dominated that game. That scoreboard did not reflect how much of a dominant performance that was by the Vikings, because the Green Bay Packers got it to 31-29, but they had to climb all that back in the fourth quarter, man. That game was over for a long time.
And you could definitely thought, and you felt that this was a trap game, right? You know what? They're 4-0. Maybe you're going to lose. Great defense. Robert Saleh prepares well, but I think the edge defensively went to Brian Flores and that defense. That defense has been playing so prepared week after week, man, that on a game like this one where Sam Darnold finally comes down to earth, right? You know what I mean? Let's go to the numbers. I mean, it's not like Sam Darnold did anything here great, right? He didn't throw for a touchdown, threw a pick, kind of like a really not efficient game. It was just one of those things where they just grinded it out, man, and the defense played well. Another pick six by Ben Winkle. What's his name? I don't know whether the Dolphins are the biggest idiots in the world. They don't get a backup quarterback, and they still let one of the best defensive players go for the cheap. So.
Yeah, just let them walk away. The Vikings even lost Aaron Jones early in this game, man, to I believe concussion, wasn't it?
Yep.
So they, you played the majority of this game without your number one running back there. Justin Jefferson didn't do anything crazy.
Nope.
You sit there and you look at that stat line. I mean, the Vikings didn't do anything remarkable in this game offensively.
Nope,
But the
defense.
Brian Flores is going to be a head coach in the NFL again.
Oh, absolutely, dude. As many people may agree or disagree with the way that he coaches, but dude, he's got to get a head coaching job next year for sure. I mean, I don't think it's even going to be one more year. I think there's going to be some.
Got fired from the Dolphins, right?
Yes,
like all that controversy where they won. They became the first team in NFL history to have an 7 or 8 game losing streak followed by a 7 or 8 winning streak in the same season.
That's it. I mean, they were both 11. And hey, the thing is that again, he didn't see eye to eye to the owners, and he had to walk. That's why they got Mike McDaniels. It was this Tua is your quarterback. You're not. No, I don't want to. Give me somebody else.
It may be easy to disagree with those owners after
exactly
seeing some of the way they've handled some of these situations. Everybody wanted to throw a lot of shade at Brian Flores, and it may not have been his fault.
Yeah.
If we're just being honest, I bet they regret it. I mean, I don't know. You like Mike McDaniel and all that stuff, but the Dolphins, we'll get them in a minute, but they got all kinds of problems.
They do right now. They do, and Tua is coming back soon. As for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, there's definitely some turmoil in the locker room between him, teams, and then also the coach. And honestly, I keep saying this: Robert Saleh's not making it out of the season. There will be a new head coach there next year. What do you think, Rickon?
Do you think they're going to make a move for Devontae Adams, man?
I mean, look, I think Rodgers has already planted that seed. He's a collusion master. But I don't think if they do get him, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. This offense sucks, dude. When you have Breece Hall back-to-back games, you know what I'm saying? Not getting, you got to make something for Breece. He's way too talented not to get yardage. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, Gary Wilson finally got the ball force fed, but it's been such a up and down and not like a stable offensive, from game to game, right? And I think a lot of that has to be that Nathaniel Hackett, as much as Aaron Rodgers likes him too, and also Aaron Rodgers is old. You know what I mean?
He is, man. Was there any weather in this game? Was there any bad weather?
Yeah, not in this one. Not this one.
I was on the road. I didn't get to watch it.
Not this one. It wasn't like last week. You know what I mean? Where there was weather was
poor last week. I could almost give him a break on that one. And that Broncos defense pretty good.
Breece Hall is not a 9-carry, 23 yardage kind of guy, and Breece Hall can also catch the damn football. It just there's something's not clicking here, man.
I'm trying to figure out who, this game must have been like an hour and a half long or something because there was no offense.
No.
In this game at all, man. It must have been a bunch of 3 yards in a cloud of dust or something.
It was bad.
I don't know how they scored as many points as they did looking at the offensive stat lines there.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was a weird game.
3 picks. Were they his fault on the picks? Were there any?
2 of them were all his, bro. Yeah, they were bad. They were all his. All his picks. One of them, it was like he overthrew Mike Williams. Don't make that mistake. The pick 6, also great play by Van Winkle. I forgot what the other one was. That's it, man. The only bright spot here was, again, Garrett Wilson got himself a touchdown. Lazard got himself a touchdown. And I think the other one was a defensive touchdown as well by the Jets as well, because they also have really good defense. But it's just one of those things that, they had a chance to also make a comeback there at the end. But, Aaron Rodgers, another turnover. There's a lot of dysfunctionality in this team. And this is not going to end well in a very crappy division, because when you got the Bills at 3-2, losing 2 in a row, the Miami Dolphins without Tua, who are a completely different team, are 2-3. They're 2-3. It's such a shit show division now that it's up for grabs.
And that's why I'm not ready to send the Jets out to pasture yet.
No, you can.
That's why I still think there is some good football left ahead of this team. And if they were, I don't know the possibilities of them being able to add Devontae Adams to this roster. I don't know how all the contract and the salary cap and all that nonsense goes. But if there's some way they can wind up doing that, I think it does add another key piece. This offense, you look how good that offense was in Green Bay when him, Lazard, and Rodgers were all together back then. I mean, you add a piece like Garrett Wilson to that. Now you got Braylon Allen, Breece Hall at the running back position, man. So you could really get an electrifying offense there if you get it clicking on all cylinders. But right now they got a lot of problems. But like you said, in a very bad division, so it's not they're not out of the woods yet, man. They still got some good football ahead of them, I think.
Put it this way, and before we move on to the next game, now that you're on to Devontae Adams, I'm going to give me one of your top destinations for him, apart from the Jets, because the Jets are obviously an obvious one.
Man, I really think possibly Kansas City.
Okay, that's another obvious one.
I could see that really, especially with Rashee Rice going down and nobody
for the season,
and nobody's saying anything. They want to talk about him being on IR, and you got a lot of people saying, kind of from a fantasy standpoint, don't drop him. All these things, and I'm like, You know, I'm not sure what's going on there.
Mhm.
I don't know how it's kind of in between. I understand you got to let the swelling go down before you can really do all the tests extensively and things like that. But to me, it kind of either is or it ain't. This is the longest I feel like we've ever had a like a go without a diagnosis for a torn
Mhm.
ACL. Like usually you hear this within a day or two, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, what's going
Sometimes
on?
the same night because they go to they take them to the hospital and
They
just with an
usually
MRI, you're like, okay, you're done, dude.
when they do that on-field test where they're seeing if the knees catching and stuff, they usually have an idea then.
Mhm.
And so it's like that's why you go and do those MRIs and things like that. So they usually have an idea. So it's just kind of weird to me there. But I would
Yeah.
say I could say see Kansas City. Um, obviously, you know, the Jets side, that's just because
Yeah.
of the Aaron
The
Rodgers
Steelers
side.
have been up in the air now lately too. All of a sudden they're in the whole
What
conversation as
about a
well.
crazy spot? What about something just crazy? What about the Commanders don't call me the Redskins?
Yeah, man.
What
I
about
would
that?
like I would like to see that.
I'm just saying, you put that guy out there with Jayden Daniels, what he's doing, Scary
My
Terry, Brian
gosh.
Robinson Jr., even Austin Eckler, looking like
Man.
he got a little football left in him, man. So I'm just saying, you throw him in there, dude, and that could be another team. That's another team we'll
Yeah.
get to in a little bit that I'm just like, I keep waiting on them to drop the ball literally,
Yep.
and they do not. They do not.
No, that's wild, man. I mean, and another left field for me, completely out of left field, the Dallas Cowboys.
That also could be, I mean, that would be
Mhm.
nasty too.
It,
I don't know if Jerry's willing to. You
at
never know.
this point, I think remember Jerry gets held hostage by his own players. So so usually he could be one
Probably
of
the
these guys
best
gonna be like,
option.
yeah, it could be. You know
So,
what? You know which game wasn't a shitty game though, man? The damn Ravens. Wow. Talk about battle of two great quarterbacks going back and forth, man. Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrows, man, they just went at it, dude. Completely
well,
at it. What a great game, man. Overtime. I mean, it was 41-38 on the game. And I look, Bengals missed a field goal. It's crazy when you look at the Bengals one and when you look at their games, their only really bad game was the first game of the season. Then
it
after
was,
that,
dude.
they've been in every single game. But that's what happens, man. You
Dude, they were in this one. They were dominating this
they were
game.
dominating this game.
And the Ravens had, you know, like we're used to seeing the Ravens be that team that blows the lead
No.
in the fourth quarter, man.
Yep.
And this is a big time come from behind win right here. It's a division win. And it's about all over but the crying for the
Yep.
Bengals at this point, man. I mean,
It
it's
is.
really, really hard. We've said that about them before, and they went on runs, but I mean, and they're definitely capable of it. You know, the defense has got all kinds of issues, but the offense clearly can score with probably anybody.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, I mean, it's when you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase out there clicking. T.
Mhm.
Higgins had a big game yesterday. You got all those guys healthy. Chase Brown looks pretty good as a young guy and running back there. So when you get all those guys clicking, man, that's a pretty good offense. But they can't stop no damn body.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
this is I don't know how many games now. I know at least two they've given up over 30 points.
You don't lose a game that Chase and Higgins caught 4 touchdowns combined and almost 300
I guarantee you.
300 yards
If that's not
receiving.
the first game they've done that, where they both got 2+ touchdowns, I guarantee you it's the first one they both got 2+ touchdowns and lost.
Absolutely.
I would almost guarantee that, man. And, you know, Joe Burrow, 5 touchdown
5
passes
tutties.
there, nearly 400 yards passing. Obviously had the one pick there, but I mean, he's 30 for 39 too, so very efficient with the football. It's not like it was a bunch of trash time. I mean, that was all with the lead. He was doing that against the ones.
Mhm.
So, you know, you look, Zay Flowers had a big game there for Lamar. Lamar doing Lamar things. How many rushing yards do you have?
Oh my gosh. Lamar had 348 in the air and Lamar still rushed for 55 yards. 12 carries.
I mean, he's still over 400 yards of total offense there.
Derrick Henry still scoring touchdowns, 92 yards. I know 50, but again, this is the whole thing.
I started to say it was a little skewed there because he did have a slower game early on.
But that's what he does. Remember, he doesn't get those from 10-yard runs consistently. He always breaks out for 40 or 55 that gets a total close to 100.
And you rarely see him have more than 50 yards rushing the first half.
Yep.
You see him usually collect 100 or so in the second half when those dudes, like we've said before, are tired of hitting him. You hit that dude for 4 hours straight, you're going to be over it, man. You get tired of that shit. I'm telling you. And then you went to extra time yesterday. You're like, damn, we thought we were done with this guy. Now we started hitting this fool. And and he's just a monster, dude. I love Derrick Henry. I love seeing him do that. You know, that guy, I think we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago. He spends $1 million a year on like his, personal chef and his supplements and all the different things that go into his body. That's nuts.
And look at it, man. He is still in tip-top shape. And honestly, new team, new life. He is running, maybe not as many carries, but he's still as productive. What, six straight touchdowns already in the season, 6 straight games. I think he has like 7 or 8 touchdowns for the season. I mean, the weekend before, it was a Monday night game, right? The guy had almost 200 rushing yards, right? He blew for that 87 in the first one. I mean,
he had
he is
199 or something. It was like
that dude is wild, man.
But isn't it crazy how you see these guys that have been in the league for a little while, usually all with one team there, and maybe that team's not very good, and then they get to go to one of these teams that they know is a contender, and they've got a bunch of dudes around them, and all of a sudden these guys have a whole new lease on life. It's like they find the fountain of youth or something, man.
He's not supposed to be doing this at this age.
No.
With the amount of miles he has on his body.
I started to say that man's been averaging 25 carries a game for 10 years.
It's not a guy. Look, let's go back to the dominant backs, right? In the last 10 years. None of those guys were more dominant than 4 years. Ezekiel Elliott, right? Go back to the days of Todd Gurley. These all guys that were like, top offensive yardage running backs from that point.
Arian Foster.
Oh my God, Arian Foster. All those guys that, what I'm saying, they did that for 3 years.
Yeah, dude. That's it. It's crazy because obviously we know
these guys doing it for 10, man.
But yeah, most of the time we actually had a interview the other day on our podcast with Tenard Davis that played at the U.
Actually, nice. Well, I know I'm Tenard Davis. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, let's go. We had him on the show the other day. We have a partnership with the World Highlight League, and Tenard is in the World Highlight League now. And we were in there talking. He was telling us about his time with you and everything. But he's actually blood.
Is he playing for the Miami? Is he playing here in Miami?
Yeah, he plays for the Fireballs, man. Yeah,
I got a homeboy of mine who plays there too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's his name?
Oh my gosh, man. I'll look it up, man.
Wait, let me know, man. We were doing these things.
I will. I'll let you. I'll text you his name. He plays in the Highlight League in Miami. Out of Highlight here in Miami. I see him. He's a friend of mine, and I mean every Super Bowl is when I catch him. He's a close friend of my friend, and I see him every Super Bowl. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking out on his name.
It's all right. We'll like I said, the World Highlight League is really working with us. They treat us really good. And they're bringing these guys in with us each Wednesday on the morning show to be able to do some interviews and stuff. That's right, man. And he was in there, but he's blood cousins with Frank Gore. Going back to talking about these running backs stuff, we were talking about how impressive Frank Gore's career was, man. That he was in the league for 18 seasons and still doing the damn thing at the running back position. That's unheard of, man.
Frank Gore had like 2 ACLs, bro. Blown too. Remember in college? I know Frank Gore locally from down here. I mean, he's always doing a whole bunch of stuff down here, man.
Love Frank Gore, man. That's what I was saying.
He's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, dude. He, like I said, and shout out to Tenard the other day for coming in with us and giving all his stories and stuff. That was really cool. But yeah, going back to these running backs, man, what Derrick Henry's doing is also equally as impressive.
Yeah. I think he's actually being more impressive than I see. I'm blanking out on names. The Vikings running back
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I think right now, and Adrian Peterson was the last guy to do something similar like this. Torn ACL, come back and lead the league in rushing and a bunch of touchdowns. And but then he faded towards the end of his career because I think he held a little too long. But from a 10-year span, I think Adrian Peterson is the closest to Derrick Henry I've seen from a dominant standpoint. I don't think Adrian did it for 10 years straight. I think he did it for like 7 or 8.
No,
but this guy right here just doing it for 10 years, it's insane, man.
It really is, man.
Talking about a dark horse that I forgot to mention, and I needed to jumble my head. The Ravens. For Devontae Adams. He posted a picture of Edgar Allan Poe and then quoted something for Edgar Allan Poe over the weekend before Sunday's game. So, I wasn't a good scholar in school, dude, but I do know quote the Raven nevermore. So that's the only thing I know.
Raven nevermore.
That's the only thing I know about Edgar Allan Poe. Anything else, I have no fucking clue what the guy did. But that's the only thing I know. You know what I mean? Because it's just what it is.
Let's be real, man. That would make that offense that much more electric.
Let me tell you something, dude. Not only will benefit everybody from top to bottom, because it'll help Zay Flowers, who's the number one receiver there, and it's getting killed right now. He had a good game, but the last 2 games, the guy was barely getting the ball, right?
Not to mention, you get to learn from that guy.
Yes, man. He's still very good.
Oh, absolutely, bro. And he gets any kind of quarterback at all. That's still
exactly
top 5 receivers in the league. I promise.
He's still very good. I know he wants to play still with Carr and all that kind of crap. So, I don't think the Saints need him.
I don't know if the Saints could afford it. I don't know. I don't know why he would still want to play with Derek Carr. I believe you tried that. That ship sailed. Let's keep the good memories from college. Let's don't make any more bad ones.
Oh, man. You know who made some also good memories this week? Oh, man, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. But the Bears are 3-2, bro. It's back-to-back wins. And Caleb Williams, I'm sorry, I think had probably his best game of his young career. I get it. You needed to, go against a really bad team. in order to kind of start getting some confidence, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely the best game of his young career. He's no Jayden Daniels yet, but 20 for 29, right? Efficient, 304, 2 touchdowns. And the big difference here has been that the running game has completely taken off, which has helped him also open up the passing game, right? DeAndre Swift, back-to-back strong games, right? Touchdowns. Rashawn Johnson found the end zone twice, but then when you got guys where you're starting to pound the ball, it definitely opens up for games for DJ Moore like this, and also Cole Kmet. And, Keenan Allen's just, in the background right now because we know that Keenan Allen's probably washed. But,
Keenan Allen was a guy that we knew had a big-time comeback here last year, but we know Keenan Allen's kind of up there in years, a lot of miles on those legs as well, but still a very viable, third option in this offense and things like that. But, I mean, Caleb Williams is – and I've been a Caleb Williams hater.
Me too, and I still don't believe in him.
I really have. I still don't. I'm not ready to say they've actually found their guy, but I will tell you, much like I thought with Justin Fields, this guy's getting better each game. He's working hard. He's putting the time in, so I respect that, and I like seeing him going out each week, and they're winning football games. They're winning more than they're losing right now.
That defense is really good too. Some of those wins are defensive oriented. You know what I mean? So
that one of them for sure. They won one of them games without an touchdown. So that defense is helping a lot, and that's what you want with a rookie quarterback. You want a good defense that can take some of the pressure off them like that. But right now, we can all say what we want about Caleb Williams, but the simple fact is he's getting better each week.
No, he is. Yes, last week he had another good game. He's showing improvement, which is what you want to see. He started out really, really shaky. And I know, I get it. And when you see improvement, whether the matchup is favorable or not, that's you still want to see, right? Unlike Bryce Young, who, man, I mean, he threw a touchdown. They put him in here in the last minute there because the game was over. But, Bryce Young, which is not seeing any type of improvement, period, whether it was playing a real, a good matchup or a really bad matchup. Him, at least you could see that the favorable matchups are better suited for his skill set. He's taking advantage, and that's kind of like what you see the development part of the game. So that I do give him credit.
That's what you want to see out of your young quarterback too. Winning the games he's supposed to win against the teams that your roster is supposed to be better than.
Yep.
And he's winning those. Bryce Young ain't never won those.
No.
So you couldn't feel very good about that if you were looking at the Panthers coming into the season. Caleb Williams right now, I mean, that is a positive. Is that you're at least beating the teams you're supposed to.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? We're not going to touch on the Panthers, bro, because unless they win, that's the only time they're actually irrelevant news. It was just pretty bad. That defense was so good. And, Andy Dalton, as great as he played, right? It's just borrowed time right now for this team to figure this thing out. Great stories with Deontay Johnson the last couple of weeks, right? Xavier Leggett, but, when you play a good defense, that's going to show. The quality over quantity is going to show.
Yeah, man, they got a lot of holes in that roster and a lot of spots and don't have any depth. And, you got a weird mixture of aging guys with young guys, and it's like not really much in between. So it's just I think the part of the problem is the Panthers, they have probably the worst owner in sports.
Yes, they do. In the history. Well, maybe not as, no. Let me regret that. They're probably the second worst one because we got to get to the second team right here, the Browns.
You're right. You're right. These are the worst. Yeah, you're right.
These guys have to be the worst. All right. And we're going to give our boy his flower. We got to give Jayden his flowers. But first and foremost, and I don't think we could get tired of saying this shit over and over again, the worst NFL contract in the history is Deshaun Watson. Not it has to be, not it must be. It is Deshaun Watson's contract. It is. And again, going back to the bad ownership, we beat this horse to death, to death already with the guaranteed money. But just like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, how come you did not sign as your backup Joe Flacco, who we're going to touch in a little bit, right? Who's still doing it at 39 years old, who did it for you guys and carry you to the playoffs. But because they don't want to hurt the feelings of their starting quarterback. I mean, this is horrible. They are the worst freaking franchise in the history of NFL or any sports, I think, right?
It's so funny you say this, man. I was talking to my girlfriend. Her and I were talking back porch a little bit earlier, man. We were talking. She loves fantasy football. She's hooked, but she's had the Browns defense. She just asked me about the Browns, and I was telling her because the owners are actually Tennessee folks, the Haslams and all that.
Really?
They're big Tennessee ball boosters and all this stuff. So they have a lot of different stuff here in the state. Nah, I still think they're all garbage, in my opinion. But they're definitely the worst owners in the history of sports because they continue to do Browns things. We've talked about it before with Deshaun Watson, $232 million, all of it guaranteed. You never guarantee any human being on the planet all of their money. You give no incentive left to do any better. You're not going to work toward anything. You're not going to go out and put the extra time in to get where you need to be. And he's just out there collecting a paycheck. Don't give a damn what really happens on this football field. And you can tell because I was playing like that, man. 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 15 to 28. You're barely over 50% completion percentage. And they gave you almost $250 million to throw footballs around up here. And you haven't done anything to earn that money since you left Houston, man. I can't believe people are still giving this guy a freaking shot. And the Browns, this may be one of those things that they don't recover from for a decade, bro.
No, this is going to be bad. And it's adding more and more, bad history, more and more just completely negativity to this franchise. If I'm the owners, I sell it and move it again.
That's what I was telling her earlier, too. I was like, well, you don't remember this because she's 3 or 4 years younger than me. I was
Baltimore.
Like, late 90s. And so I was like, the Browns were not even a team for a couple years, man.
No.
Like, they already shipped them out. And I feel so bad for those poor fans because Cleveland Browns fans are some of the most loyal people you will ever find anywhere on the planet.
Ohio football fans, period. That whole state.
Up, they are. The Cincinnati Bengals fans as well. Those people are all so loyal and they get shit on so much, man. At least they got the Buckeyes, I guess.
Yeah, put it this way, dude. I mean, the only thing Deshaun Watson has guaranteed is shitty performance. You know what I mean? Out of that contract.
That's it. He's playing for the appropriate team right now because his performance is shit.
At this point, dude, you got to make a move and put Jameis. Even though he's not the answer, but something got to give. He gave up on a play. The coach was calling a 4th down play on him, and he just walked off the field. I mean, it was one of those things that I'm like, and I wish I was gonna have the clip, and I couldn't find it because I just remembered before we got on. He walked off the field. The coach was trying to, the fans, whatever it is, I forget the coach's name. He was trying to go ahead and Stefanski, right? He was trying to coach. He was trying to tell him to go 4th down. And Deshaun just called a timeout on him and walked off the field. Everybody left. So he didn't catch it.
I'd put that motherfucker over on the bench and rot.
Me too.
You wouldn't play another down. I would go out there and play quarterback my damn self.
Yeah, I mean,
do that and embarrass me in front of. I'd show you one thing. I'd have my respect because I'd put your ass over on the bench to run. I'd tell you go to the locker room, get the fuck out of here.
I would make him. But listen, you see what Antonio Brown did, and he walked away. I'm gonna make you walk away, okay? Just go do jumping jacks, some shit like that.
Take your pads off. Don't put them back on you.
Yeah, exactly. Take your shirt off too, mother.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. Like I said, I've not been a Deshaun Watson fan for a long time. I used to be back in the day.
Me too. In the Texans, I was.
Yeah, and then all the other stuff came out, and I'm one of those people that believe if that many people are saying certain things about you, it's probably not all lying. I think the guy's kind of a piece of shit.
He is. He's a fucking predator, bro. He's a predator. Yeah. He's a complete fucking predator. Shit, man. You really want to get some good Deshaun Watson content, go to my boy Jim and Fan in the Van. He blocked me, by the way. Deshaun Watson blocked me and blocked him as well.
Love that.
Love that. Jim goes hard on him. Like, he deserves to get blocked. I just said that when the latest accusation came out, right?
Yeah.
In addition to that 20-something, I said, well, listen, dude, at this point, you're not a good quarterback anymore. Your credibility is shot. And I said in the tweet, at this point, not the NFL, not the Browns, not even your dog is going to trust you or save you. So your career is going to be over here pretty soon. And I think he read that and he blocked me, so it's like, I go back one day and I got blocked.
You know what? I hit a nerve.
Yeah.
Maybe change your ways. You got some life about you. The only thing you need to work on is not football, man.
He's done.
Things you need to work on too.
He's just lucky he has enough freaking money to not play football.
Oh yeah. He's lucky God gave him the natural ability to be able to get this money right here. Because this guy, at this point, what he did at the Texans was pretty incredible. That guy was a great player down there. And all that stuff before all the bullshit. Yeah. But clearly he was doing some shady shit during that time. So I'm just, like I said, I've been done with this guy for a little bit now. I think he's a freaking bum, and I think the Browns deserve whatever they get for getting all that damn money to this fool.
You know what? Shit deserves shits, bro. And guess what?
I agree, man. They're a match made in heaven.
Yeah. The only time the Browns ever seen the Super Bowl were in my toilet bowl this morning, dude. That's it. You know what I mean?
What you said. And I hate it for those fans, man.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for the fans. Jayden Daniels, on the other hand, bro, is not a piece of shit. I mean, this kid impresses me week after week. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this until the kid shits the bed. I do see CJ Stroud vibes, right? Different way of doing it, right? But has a team 4-1. Nobody expecting them. They got the best record in the NFC East, and they beat a good Browns defense. You notice he struggled at the beginning, but the fact that he's able to adjust, use his feet, then get throws down the field, dude. This offense looks entertaining as shit, man.
And this guy is learning on the fly, bro.
Yes,
Said,
yes,
making the adjustments. Defensive
yes.
coordinators are throwing different looks at him, trying
Yep.
to confuse him. And he's like, hell with it. If I can't throw it, I'll run the
Yeah.
damn thing. And he's being very productive there. He's got receivers that are making plays for him.
Yep.
And, Scary Terry is another guy that feels like he got a new lease on life
my gosh.
he never had a quarterback like this, man.
No, and this guy, and Scary Terry has had like except for his rookie season, he's had 1,000 yards 4 of his past 5 seasons. Started a little slow out this year, but he's got to end up with another 1,200 yards this season. You know what I mean? With nobody.
Underrated players in the league, man.
It is. He is. Scary Terry.
And
let me tell you something. Cliff Kingsbury, I said this last week. Cliff Kingsbury has the offense. I mean, talk about a guy building a fucking tailor-made offense for somebody that has a skill set of him. And not just him. Like you said, you have Austin Eckler. I mean, playing very, very productive. I mean, I know he was out with concussion and stuff, but he comes back here 67 yards because this is what he does. He catches balls, right?
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? That's what he does.
Yeah.
He catches freaking balls. And then you have, Brian Robinson, right, as well. I mean, this week he had a little bit of an off game, but look, he catches balls. It's great. I mean, he's been their top leading rusher. He's scoring. Brian Robinson had 2 touchdowns. They didn't need him to do much, right? They didn't need to get 100 yards like he usually does.
Yeah.
Eckler has a couple of more touches here. But when Eckler rushes for like 60 or 70 yards, it's a good thing. It's a good day in addition to Brian Robinson. They have like misdirection games. They got different formations. Love it. Love it.
The man's averaging over 11 yards a carry there.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you do that, like, good night. I don't care how many touches you got. You had a big night. So you talk about Kingsbury, got another guy that wasn't a great head coach, but this guy knows how to run offenses. And when all he has to do is focus on the offense and doesn't have to focus on all the other bullshit that goes on with being a head coach, this guy's a pretty good football coach, man.
He is. I give him credit. He knows his mobile quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
This is something we continue to see. You kind of saw the birth of it with Lamar Jackson when the team finally decided to go all in and like, we're going to run this style of offense. We're going to draft this guy, trade up to get him.
Yep.
And we're going to go all in on this offense. We're going to draft our backups to run this offense. We're going to do all of that stuff. And you see more and more teams do it. CJ Stroud, as far as the comparison, like I said, different style. But
as I said, he does it different, but the results,
they went all in with it. And they decided this is the guy we're going to get behind, and we're going to let him go in here and take over. And then Jayden Daniels, like I said, much like the Ravens did a few years ago, they seem to have gone all in on this guy and, selling out to give him this offense that he succeeds in.
He shines.
They look good, bro. I didn't want to crown him. I picked them to lose to the Cardinals last week, and I started paying a little bit of attention. I decided to stay away from this one this week. I was like, I'm not touching this because sure shit, I'll pick them this week, and they'll get beat by the Browns. So I was like, I just stayed away. But after seeing this, man, you better start to take a little notice of these Commanders.
Mm-hmm. Check this out. The Commanders are 4-1. That's only the second time they started 4-1 in this century because we're in 2024. So it's in the last 24 years.
Wow. It's only
I don't know. I don't know what was the last time. I didn't look up when the hell that was. And,
I feel like it was probably like Sean Taylor was there or something.
Okay, you're right.
Probably something crazy like that.
Who the hell was the quarterback? I don't know.
Or may have
was it RG3? No, it wasn't RG3.
It may have been that weird because I felt like they started a little hot that year. RG3 had that little glimpse in his rookie season before all the injuries and stuff caught up with him. He just wasn't big enough. So it could have been one of those, but I feel like it's probably back 2000, between 2006 and 2010 or something like that is what it feels like. I do remember them being good for 1 year.
Cricket, we go from greatness to shitness. This game was ugly. Shout out to Tyler Huntley, dude. He did everything he could, and he did get him a W. By the way, I know Tyler Huntley's dad. He used to work awesome. in the same city. He was in IT, actually. He was an IT programmer in the city I worked for. Yeah, so he does.
I heard him talking a couple weeks ago, Tyler Huntley, when he was talking about he grew up wanting to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, and they were asking, a lot of people think about old Miami Dolphins quarterbacks. They were like Dan Marino and stuff like that. They were like, so it was a quarterback when you were a kid at the stadium. He's like Pat White, and I was like, whoa, there's a name drop I didn't heard in a while.
Pat
man.
White, cool. He was drafted, but he got a couple of starts here and there. Didn't do well, but that was around his time.
That's really cool. His dad, man.
Yeah, man. Actually, it was funny. We saw him on. He came by on Wednesday, and he was saying he was going to go to. He was in New England trying to, So he was. He went to sit there. I was hanging out with the IT folks because I was doing interviews. We do interview panels. I was part of the panel, and he was there. He came over and said hi to the team and stuff. Like he still goes by, and has a good relationship with a lot of the coworkers.
Love that, man. Love
that. He was there rooting for his pops. Hey, local boy from Hollandale, man. Look, the Dolphins. It's just a team that, right? If you knew where Tua stands, right? I don't know why you got rid of Mike White, number one, right? You don't have in this situation. Why didn't you roster? Why didn't you invest some money on a backup quarterback, right? There were some people available, like Joe Flacco. You got Gardner Minshew. You had guys that were serviceable, but they shot themselves in the foot by just trying to. I don't know why happened here. I mean, and obviously it's one of the most complicated offenses you could have out there, or playbooks. Am I saying? Because even the backup quarterback you had there for 3 years couldn't figure the hell out, and you brought in a guy who was hanging out in his house here in Hollandale Beach. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, I don't understand for the life of me how they didn't have some kind of contingency plan in place, knowing to his history, knowing the possibility that one hit, and obviously we've talked about it before, that hit that he took from DeMar Hamlin was not that bad of a hit. He's going to take more of those. And if you can't hold up on those, how can you not have some kind of plan in place? You said you sent Mike White away. You had to know. For me, you had to know Skylar Thompson wasn't the guy. Mike McDaniel can get up there and what a head coach is supposed to do and exude confidence and whatever guy he's got to put out there and all that stuff. But if you've watched any of that football with that guy out there, there's a reason they had to turn to Tyler Huntley. And Tyler Huntley's trying to do everything he can, but there's just simply not a lot to work with down there in Miami right now. Not everybody's Tua, man. Tua's a special talent when he's healthy, and not everybody's that guy that can make that offense click the way it is. And they've kind of built it around that guy, and they don't have anybody else that can run that offense.
No, they built it around him and nobody else did. I don't think they thought about the expansion, I guess. Let me ask you a question, man. In regards to the Patriots, not much to see here anymore with the Patriots. What do you when do you turn the tie over? When do you switch quarterbacks, man, and let the rookie take a shot?
I think it's time, man. I think it's time. Yeah. I don't know how it. Not that Jacoby Brissett's playing bad. He seems to always have his teams in the game, but he loses more than he wins.
Yep.
And I understand it's kind of it's expected to be a lost season for the Patriots. Nobody ever saw them winning that one game they've already won. Nobody ever saw that coming. I mean, they were 8.5-point dogs in that thing. Yep. But the Bengals obviously not what we thought they were going to be either. And I think at some point, man, you got to because here's the thing: you don't want to start next year. He's got to have those growing pains.
Yep.
You're not doing any real learning in the preseason and things like that. I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of experience, but you're not getting what you need in the in-game action for the regular season. And at this point, you're 1-4. Not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're actually leading for the number 1 overall pick right now. We know you're not taking a quarterback with that pick.
Nope.
You didn't just draft him at 3 to take him. I'll tell you what, if they get 1, they're fools if they don't take Travis Hunter. And you got Christian Gonzalez on one side and Travis Hunter on the other.
Gosh.
Nobody throw the damn football on you.
Nope.
But I think right now it's time, man. It's got to be Drake May's time.
And you got to see. Yeah, you got to see what Drake May's all about. And he looked great in the last couple of preseason games, right? And I know preseason is, just a small sample size and the different
JV games.
But exactly, JV games. But I think he's being up here now for 6 games. He needs to get a taste of the speed. And I think he's realized the speed a little bit of the game. And he's going to struggle when he gets in because they really have nobody. But I think he might give him a better chance. Yeah, I think he's going to give him a better chance. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe who's to say that he doesn't come in and do the damn thing? I'm not saying he's going to be Jayden Daniels or CJ Stroud.
But
or
games like this, like this that are garbage time games like this, so they're very close in the offense, he probably would have done more and gotten you in a better position to win.
And what you see him score in the that's the only thing, they're scoring like the first quarter, so maybe they feel like they want to give Jacoby Brissett a little more time, but like when you see a couple quarters there and you only get a field goal out of the fourth quarter, I mean, it's hard to put him in that spot. No. But sometimes that's the best way to do it, man, because you don't even have time to think about it and get nervous about it. He just goes out there and plays football, and all the natural stuff takes over. And sometimes it's when they play their best ball. So I'm with you, man. I think it's got to be, you got to start considering it. And I don't know any time like the present right now because, like you said, it does not make them any worse.
I know. Give me the head coach name again from New England. I forgot.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo needs to get off the Belichick fucking bus because he's riding that bus. He's playing the same exact way, authoritarian, right? Hey, I'm going to run the football. I'm going to play good defense. This is what we're going to do. It's like it's like, what I'm saying, one lane, right? That you got the blinders on and there's no, like, you're not getting out of anything. Get the shit out of the way, bro, because that football is over. Tom Brady is not coming out of that locker room 10 years earlier. You know what I mean? To help you out.
I really hope that Gerard Mayo doesn't get judged. His head coaching ability doesn't get judged kind of off this. Because I don't know that this is going to be his stop where he winds up being a head coach for a while. And I don't know that he is a good head coach. I think the way he's handled all these situations, I think he's done a pretty good job. I think having to follow a legend. You got a rookie quarterback coming in. You got to make a decision if you're going to play him or the veteran. You're not supposed to have a great season. They had some other stuff going this past weekend. Jabril Peppers winds up getting into some stuff where he's got like strangulation charges. Apparently might have been caught with cocaine.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got a lot of different other crazy stuff going on, and the guy's kind of navigating it pretty well, in my opinion.
He's cleaning up for Belichick.
Yeah.
Remember, Belichick was famous for covering shit up, all right? You know,
and I love Gerard Mayo. He's a ball, former ball for life, man.
So, hell of a player, you know. And
I love the guy.
I'm not judging him at all, but I think it's just, and I don't know if this is what the craft's like, you know, that kind of, you know,
and that would also be a weird thing, man.
Kind of coach.
Those people, I understand they've got some championships, but that may be solely because they found light in the bottle with Belichick and Brady.
Yes.
Those people may be terrible owners too, man.
That's true.
I'm not convinced they're not. I think they just found the best quarterback head coach combination in the history of the game, and they were able to ride that wave for 15 years or whatever. But these people may be shit too, man.
They caught lightning in a bottle and they kept it in a case for a very long time, you know, which might be like a century kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
Robert Kraft might have sold his soul to the devil or something.
Yes, he did. He did. I mean, you know, because the guy, just look at him.
You're completely right about that. I'm just saying, there's nothing, and even like without the great offensive mind or great football mind, defensive mind that Belichick is, without him, and then Tom Brady being what he was, I don't know if we ever even really know anything about Robert Kraft. You know,
that's true,
because the guy doesn't ever do anything. Like, they never spend any money on any big time players. Randy Moss, the only big time guy they've ever really brought in there that we can remember. Tom Brady was notorious for bitching about not having anything around him.
So. No. And they didn't even win with Moss. They lost to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I'm not convinced those people aren't shit owners too.
Yeah. You know who's not a shit owner? I don't know who the owner of the Texans is, but I know D'Amico Ryan is not a shit coach. You know what I'm saying, dude? Look, everybody, they became the hunted, the Texans. I know they're not winning as dominant, but they're winning games, and they're pulling games out. They're winning close games. And you know what, dude? You still got CJ Stroud, another monster game by CJ, right? Nico Collins is him.
He got hurt, man. They played most of this game without him.
Yep, we didn't. We did the first half, bro. What is in the first half? He got hurt. The dude had 78 in a touchdown. First quarter, the dude had 78 yards in the first.
Yeah, he got hurt on that play. It's like
6-yard
touchdown, and he tweaked his hammy on that. They're saying it's a week-to-week thing.
Yeah,
so probably not going to play this week, but you have to kind of monitor. Hamstrings are funny things there. But
dude, they had injuries, you know, Mixon and they you know, between Ingawale and Akers, the way that they're using these two running backs as one. Dude, you got to give him credit. D'Amico just really draws us some plays. You know, hey, Stephon Diggs got one over our boy here, Josh Allen, which second game in a row, the Bills have looked really, really really, really bad offensively, right? And so has Josh Allen. I think, you know, you knew it was going to catch up to them, right? You know, they don't have the alpha, right? You need an alpha to pull it out in these type of games.
Golly, 9 for 30. That's a bad day for him, man.
That was a bad game.
You know, I'm with you, and I think that they will get Keon Coleman more involved in this offense as you see it go along. He got
a touchdown this time. He has 2 in the season.
Yeah, and like I said, only the one catch there. I think you got to start getting that guy some more targets.
Yep.
I mean, he did have 5 targets there, and maybe just some good defense by the Texans secondary, you know, taking away some of those opportunities.
Yes.
But Josh Allen's got to be more efficient with the football, or he's got to make more plays with his legs.
Yep.
One of the two, man. You know that this team goes as he goes, and that's usually what happens. Is that he's able to be Superman about 14 games out of the year, but it's hard to do that week in and week out. And then when you wind up having a tough game in the conference, in the divisional round or whatever, that's when it usually winds up ending because they rely solely on this guy and don't have a lot around him, man.
Yeah, he was Superman in the first 3 games. He's been Clark Kent in the last 2. So that's kind of the way it goes.
Kind of been his MO his entire time in the league, man.
Exactly. Talented. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. But yes, you're right. He has his up and downs. When he's good, man, he's freaking good. But when he's bad, he's really not bad, but he's really mediocre. You know what I mean? So
and it's just like when you have nothing else around him to pick up, and you know, teams like the Chiefs, and you know, when Patrick Mahomes has a tough game, you got a lot of guys around him that can pick up the defense, makes plays or whatever you got to have. You don't really have that for the Bills, man. And I'll tell you, I thought they really, really mismanaged that at the end of the game.
They did.
You know, like, what are you doing? Like, okay, you got 90 plus yards to go. How often, for one, do you ever drive 90 yards?
Yes, sir.
In an NFL game. On top of that, you've got less than a minute to do it. And, you know, I understand you're just trying to get in field goal range. These kickers are great and all that stuff. But after you throw that first incomplete pass, you got to just run that damn thing out. You don't throw 3 passes in a row, all of which are incomplete, stopping the clock, and have to punt out of your own end zone and give them no. And like I said, you got a good kicker on the other side in Kyrie Fairburn that kicks a 59-yard field goal to win. Man, he didn't have to get that far to get into field goal range right there. You run that clock
chip shot for Fairburn, bro. 59 yards.
All these guys, all these dudes in the NFL now can all make 60-yard field goals.
Aubrey, Buckner, all these guys it's like, dude, it's like they're hitting it from 30. You know,
The
a
Cowboys
59-yard is like, shoot,
The
man.
Cowboys considered a couple weeks ago, just for a minute, kicking a 71-yard field goal. They sent the dude out there. They wouldn't have calling him back off, but they thought about it.
I want to see that, man. Somebody has to do that, dude.
I think he can do it, bro.
I think really he can. That dude, you see him yesterday. I mean, we get to that game, but yesterday he was kicking some of these field goals like it was like effortless. You know what I mean? Like 40s making him look like it was a point after the touchdown. You know what I mean?
He's something special, man. I don't remember a time in my life where I would get excited when
me neither
on the field. Brendan Aubrey runs on the field, I get juiced.
No, me neither, man. It's right. You're right. I think it was the offensive player of the week or some shit like that at the beginning of a couple of weeks ago, like the first week of the year. I forget when he was hitting all those damn field goals.
That's by far one of the biggest weapons in the league, man. That's why I give the Cowboys still a chance, because they got that guy. Not because they got Dak or CD or any of those guys. It's because they got Brendan Aubrey is why I give them a chance.
All they need to do is get it close, man. Keep the game close and just last minute get them to hit a field goal.
Just get to midfield.
Yeah, man. Just, make sure you waste the clock, man. Get to midfield and waste the clock.
Bro, it's insane.
Man, I know we mentioned this, man, earlier, and I know Jacksonville got their first win, but the real storyline here is fucking Joe Flacco, bro. 359, 3 touchdowns. I mean, if you look at his last, since December when he came up, the guy, I think the dude has like 20 touchdowns, and it's in like 2 months, right? Or
I would like to know. I bet you the games he's played. Now you can't count the games where he had to sit as the backup or whatever this year.
Yeah, but the ones he started, right, from Cleveland last year.
Joe Flacco started. I want to know the stats from the quarterbacks in those weeks, because I'm pretty sure Joe Flacco's got to be top 3.
I gotta click on. Oh, you know what, man? Now you gotta make. I'm gonna click on his name here. All right, we gotta look at this. I mean, we could look at the logs. Hopefully, these logs go to last year.
Oh, I'm sure they do, man.
You know what? We could do this right now. Ready? We have this year, right? Let's start last game. Joe Flacco, 359, 3 touchdowns, right? 33 for 24. He came in the second half, right? Or the second quarter, whatever. 2 more touchdowns, 16 for 25, for 26. That's 5 touchdowns now, right? Yeah. And over 500 yards in 2 games. Let's go back to 2023. Because yes, my friend, the internet helps you with anything.
You can do any of that stuff, man.
Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back. Remember, he came in December. All right. Yeah. First game in December, 23 for 30 for 44, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 254, 311 yards the next game against the Jags, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 28 for 44, 374, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. I mean, 27 for 42, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 19 for 29. Let me see. He has in the last 7 games that he started, right? All right. Since he came back, that's 5, 10, 13, and what do we say? The man has 18. No, 13. No, he has 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
18 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 18 freaking touchdowns, dude. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of those 8 games. He's thrown over 300 yards.
I mean, tell me somebody that's been more consistent than that.
This guy's 39 years old, dude.
Yeah, he was sitting on the couch hanging out, man.
The Jets should have gone out to this guy, bro, instead of Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, the Dolphins should have at least invited him down to South Beach.
I don't care. Listen, I know that is made for Tua with the whole formations and misdirection crap. With Tyreek Hill there and Waddle and everybody else, let the veteran do his thing. You know what I mean?
Tell me that Joe Flacco couldn't step in that offense and make it work. He just did. He did it with the Browns. He's doing it with the Colts. And like these offenses are lighting people up without him. So the fact that he can step in and fill in and do what he's doing with these offenses, I think he'd be just fine with Tyreek Hill out there.
Alec Pierce is not faster than Tyreek or Waddle. And he's hitting Alec Pierce with bombs, all right?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Alec Pierce is a good receiver. I like the kid. I love Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I love him. Man.
But dude, he ain't no Tyreek or Jaylen Waddle, right?
Jaylen Waddle, man. You're not. I'm sorry. I don't think you would get any argument from Alec Pierce on that. I don't think he would tell you that he was better than either one of those guys. And Joe Flacco doing the damn thing right here. But here's what's going to suck, man, is when Anthony Richardson gets healthy, Joe's going to go right back to the bench, man, because they're paying their franchise quarterback all that money to be the face of their franchise. He's a young guy and all that stuff. And Joe's going to get put right back on the bench, man. And I hate that because Joe is an NFL quarterback right now.
Yeah. My God, this guy right now, he's such a commodity right now, man, to have in your team when you're starting quarterback. I would not rush Richardson back. I'll let him take off a couple games.
100%, bro. I mean, the guys clearly showed that he's a little bit injury prone at this point. It's just kind of the way he puts his body on the line out there, his style of play and everything. He's taking some licks, but no sense in rushing him back, especially if Joe's playing like this.
Yep.
He gave you. I mean, the Colts have still not won a game in Jacksonville since like
No,
2015. So
no.
they even lost one as the visiting team over in London.
Yeah,
one year
yeah,
ago.
that's right. That's right. One of the London games, and hey, look, let's not harp too much of this game, but the Jacksonville's to me have been one of the most overrated and underachieving teams since last season. After what they did the year before, finally Trevor Lawrence had a decent game. I think there's a lot going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars behind the scenes that you and I don't know. I think a lot has to do with the coaching and the play calling, and it's gonna be another one that another coach is gonna be on the hot seat, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think that Doug Peterson's time in Jacksonville is pretty limited at this point. And Trevor Lawrence, like I said, he shows that he's got it in there, but we don't see it consistent enough, man. And they do have some, I don't know what's going on with NTN. Looks like Tank Bigsby was pretty clearly the lead guy in that offense yesterday. What's that, averaging over, almost 8 yards a carry there, 13 carries, 101 2 touchdowns. So, I'd like to see him utilize NTN a little bit more. I like the young guy, Brian Thomas Jr. there. He's a stud.
He is a stud, man. He is a stud. And you could tell that he is the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taking his opportunities as the lead receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. So they've got some dudes on that team. Just cannot put it together for whatever reason. They've been in some of those games they've lost. They started out like this last year. And they're about to go to London on their little, yearly trip over there. And maybe that's usually what turns it around for them. So they can get on a little hot streak. But starting out 0-4, we know no team makes the playoffs after doing that. And unless you see some drastic improvement from the Jaguars, I think it's time you got to start considering a new regime, man.
I think London is where they're going to end up.
I don't know why they haven't done that long before, man. I know you traveling back and forth for your away game, but like you have such a huge home field advantage over there.
They play well over there.
They always do. They always have, and for whatever reason, they got that figured out, man. And like I said, I think that I'm surprised that hasn't happened already.
Yep. Now, Cricket, before we move on to the next game, man. I want to. This is to me one of the great defensive plays of the weekend, man.
Okay.
The Packers against the check out this interception was so dope.
But look at the speed right there by Young, Jim. This is a formidable front, which is why
I mean, just the combination, right?
Against this
combination of it's crazy,
that
bro.
That is the first pick
six. That's a ball right there, baby.
Yeah.
Speed
that's
right
a ball,
there by Young, Jim.
Dude, Byron
this is
Young.
a formidable front, which is why I don't think you throw the ball a ton.
Working at a Dollar General store when he was like 19, and he wound up going to, I believe he went to, was it Hargrave Military Academy down there in Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
And they wound up getting a shot to go up and play for Tennessee. And the guy's obviously a physical freak, very talented guy and everything. But I love Byron Young.
I love those stories, dude.
I do too, bro. I mean, that guy was working at the Dollar General store. Talk about it was all over with the crime, man. Just he was ready to get to life and everything. And that guy has been busting his ass ever since, man. And I love seeing it pay off because that guy is a good football player.
Yep. Look, talking about being a good football player, the Packers are 3-2. They're going to be a problem, right? Everybody's loving the Vikings, but let me tell you, the Packers are going to be a problem once they're fully healthy. Look, again, they had who was out this week again because it was an issue. Jayden Reed, not Jayden Reed, what's his name? Dobbs. Yeah, Dobbs. Yep. Some BS with the tremendous conduct or whatever. Feel bad for the Rams, man, because every week the Rams compete with nothing, with Puka out, with Cooper Kupp out. It's just a shame of a wasted season for the Rams where fully healthy, this team would probably be in a lot better position than what they are now. You know what I mean? 24-19, they play tough. Matthew Stafford is out there giving it his all, getting his ass kicked. He's getting banged up, man.
This is kind of what when you're the Rams, it's kind of what you traded that Super Bowl for, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you knew that you were signing a bunch of dudes that were kind of getting up there in years, guys that you knew had some injury issues with Cooper Kupp and all that in the past. And you did get very fortunate with Puka because nobody saw Puka being Puka. And so you found another big guy there, but obviously he's banged up right now. How far away is he, man? He's got to be close to coming back.
Puka is, he's IR, so we're looking at early November. I think Kupp is going to be back, I think, in a couple of weeks, right? Do they have the bye week sometime coming up?
They got a bye this week.
Yeah, so I think Kupp will be back after the bye week. That's what I heard.
And I think Puka should be eligible. They put him on IR in week 1.
Yes, so he should be coming back around right after IR. So you might have both guys back, right? And then when you add the mix before we give the Packers their flowers, when you add what Kyron Williams is doing, which is another insane streak from a running back offensively, period, right? When you see guys like Winnington, Jordan, who this guy is these guys are all gamers, Tutu Atwell, Colby Parkinson. I mean, these guys are not first-rate receivers, but man, they're still getting involved. They're still putting up numbers. you throw in Cooper Kupp in the mix, man, and then Puka Nacua. You got this team can turn it around. I think they can turn it around.
I agree with you, man. They got that defensive line's playing really well for them. You got Jared Verse on one side, talk about Byron Young on the other side there. Defensive line, I mean, it's hard to say because I know you miss a beat without Aaron Donald. Obviously, that's one of the greatest defensive players ever. But this defensive line is really impressed because I thought losing that guy, they would probably fall off a cliff. They're still applying pressure, man. It's not like Jordan Love just lit him up yesterday. They forced him into a bad spot for that pick six there and all that. So, I mean, it's the Rams got some pieces, and I like the head coach and Sean McVay. But like you said, they've just been such bad luck from injuries. But that's kind of the deal you deal with when you sign a lot of these veteran guys like this.
It's true. I mean, they could have been 3-2. They could have been 4-1. I mean, they've been with these two guys in the lineup with Puka and Kupp in the lineup. It'll be a little different story on some of these games that they were really close. You know what I mean? Where
the only game they've been blown out was the Cardinals game. And that's just, they just had a bad game, man.
That's it. Every other game they've been close. They've been close, and they got one win. So let's see. And they might. I mean, I'm still a believer because of what I've seen so far. And Matthew Stafford's a baller, so it is what it is. The Green Bay Packers are a team to mess with, right? They're 3-2. You know what I'm saying? They kept it alive with Jordan Love being hurt, and they're a team that's dangerous. Everybody's on the Viking train, but at one point the gravy train, I think it has to stop. And I think the Packers have the experience over the Vikings once, because things will set into reality. I still say it.
I'm with you, bro. I'm not ready to I'm not sold on the Vikings just yet.
Give them the NFC. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm not ready to do that just yet.
All right. Talking about, let me see where we're at. Oh, by the way, Kyren Williams, before I move on, right? 22 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. That's right now a total of 12 games in his career. This guy's only been in the league 2 years with 100-plus yard game.
Say it one more time. Say that last part again.
So Kyren Williams has 12 100-yard rushing games in his career.
Every game he's gone over 100?
Almost every game, but he has a total of a dozen of them, 12. But I think he's only played like 15 or 16.
I started to say he hadn't played many because he was hurt a couple of those games the last couple of seasons, man. He goes over 100 yards about 90% of the time.
90% of the time. He has 12, and I think he's played like 16 or something like that. I should have looked at the number of games.
I love this guy too, man. They're always showing his mama in the stands. And you can tell
he is.
Bro. She's always hype as shit in the stands. I love seeing that, bro.
Oh, man. And now here comes to my heartburn. I mean, my New York Giants. And
you just don't know, do you?
I just don't know, man.
You can't
I'm afraid to be something positive, because every time I do that, it happens.
It blows my mind, bro. It blows my mind what this team is. I have no idea what to think about the New York Giants.
No Malik Neighbors this week. Right? I love Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, he is such a tough.
It's about time Wan'Dale. People expected Wan'Dale to come out and do the thing for a couple of years now. Wan'Dale looks like a pretty good football player, man.
He does, man. He gets us tough yards, man. He's like a Wes Welker. You know what I mean, bro? A little faster and athletic.
Yeah.
Love what I saw. I mean, Darius Slay has done this before. He's not a guy who's going to do it every week, but we've seen games over 100 yards, right? We've seen that. Like what they did with the running game, man. Tyrone Tracy was like, holy shit, man. Hold on a second. Did we find our RB1 here? I mean, what is going on here, man? Eric Gray in the mix also was kind of like, put in there with some, not just running plays, but also with 3 receptions, 50 yards. We know the kid can catch it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Daniel Jones, 2 touchdowns again. They've done it twice in the last 3 games.
I've said for a couple of weeks now, I was about tired of everybody throwing all that shit at Daniel Jones because I know some of it was deserved. I know the contract and everything, but Daniel Jones kind of puts his head down. He doesn't fire back. He doesn't pout. He doesn't Deshaun Watson over there.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't walk off the field on 4th down and shit. He's not. You don't see any off the field issues with Daniel Jones.
No.
Everybody wants to throw all this shade at Daniel Jones, and that guy. There are way worse quarterbacks you could have running your show than Daniel Jones. I promise you that. Ask the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, they are. And here's the crazy thing: that goofy bastard, you completely called it. He just goes out there. I mean, you're right. Nothing faces him, though. You're right.
He says, I'm a professional. I'm going to show up. I know what I signed up for. And the man goes out there and he works his ass off every single week. I'm sure this is a guy that's in the film room and I'm sure Daniel Jones, I have a feeling Daniel Jones does all the things the right way, dude.
I think he does.
And I've not been ready to throw the shade at this guy. I like Daniel Jones, and I know a lot of people don't. And I'm telling you, that guy's a gritty dude. And in my opinion, I like Daniel Jones. I don't think that I know a lot of y'all are ready to send him out to pasture and all that.
It's
I don't think it's time yet.
It's a love and hate, man. It's a love and hate. It's a New York thing, man. It's a love
I
and
just
hate.
don't think it's time yet, man.
But think about this, right? His numbers with Trevor Lawrence are almost identical, and I think Daniel Jones is a little bit more. And I think he has a little more touchdowns and less interceptions.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Like, I don't know of a player more than Daniel Jones that really. I mean, they've tried to crucify that man for 2 years now. And like I said, I haven't seen anything out of guys like Trevor Lawrence. There's a lot of dudes they're not throwing shade at that are playing worse football than Daniel Jones.
It's like I'm here in South Florida and people, fuck around. I'm like, oh, you want to know what's a stat that's crazy? Daniel Jones has more playoff wins than Tua.
And you don't hear nobody saying a word about that. I'm just saying. Like, people want to be caught in this recency bias and all this thing. And all these people see are these big contracts. And it's almost a double-edged sword. Yeah, you get all your money, but then everybody expects you can't screw up. And the natural reality of it in the NFL is you're going to have bad games.
No, look, and I said it, Daniel Jones' contract is not a bad contract. I told people, guys, don't let the $45 million shit fool you. That's if he stays here for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. It's not
what's going to happen? He takes us to the playoffs again this year and wins 2 playoffs games, right? For example, guess what? They got to restructure that contract.
Yeah.
And they're going to use the same money and front load it and then, kind of balance it up. But he's going to get paid now 55. Yeah, but no, that's money from the old contract as well. So it's like, it's not a bad contract. And then if he sucks the rest of the season and we get rid of him, that's it. We didn't pay 4 years for him.
Yeah, dude.
Like restructure last year. I mean, it's not a bad contract.
You didn't tie up 200 plus million on somebody.
No, you didn't Deshaun Watson his ass. Yeah. The team did not Deshaun Watson that ass. That's
so,
you know what I'm saying.
Anytime somebody ever wants to complain about a contract, I'm like you. I'm just going to throw that Deshaun Watson back and be like, I don't really want to hear much more.
Yeah, that there's no such thing as bad contracts until you actually point at Deshaun's contract.
That's the bar for bad contracts is Deshaun Watson's.
That is the bar for the worst contracts in the world. Yeah, man. And then of course, special teams, special players, man, special games, special plays.
Right, man. That's right. This is a big time win. This is a good Seahawks football team.
Yes.
You go out there. That's always a tough place to go play and win. So you're 6.5, one of the biggest dogs of the week in this game right here, and go out and really dominate it, man.
No, it was, this one. Yeah, they moved the ball around. They ran the football. I mean, hopefully this can be a consistent because, just like you said, the Seahawks, they didn't go against a really bad. They won a decent defense, right? Yeah, and a good offense, right? Kenneth Walker came back and fucking ran all over the damn field. That was the only offense, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
On Geno, you know what I mean, and even locking down the receivers, JSN and also with DK Metcalf, which is the last 2 weeks been playing really, really well. So it's, hopefully these are things to kind of like see. I mean, and I tell people, look, this year, I've been hard on Daniel Jones. Technically, we could have been 3-2. We should have beat the Redskins. I mean, the Commanders.
You had the Cowboys dead to rights too.
We didn't. We didn't score one fucking touchdown. I mean, that's it.
Well, I'm saying, I'm
so look, I'm here and 3-2. Hey, let's drink the Kool-Aid, man. All right, let's go, Danny Dimes. I said, I'm back. I'm back on the fucking list.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm giving him credit again, man. Don't fuck me over next week.
When you do have the tough division games, you lose the way you did, and you're able to steal a couple of these on the road in tough spots like that against other quality teams in the NFL. These are the type games that can wind up getting you just all you need to spot in the playoffs, man.
Momentum. These are momentum shifters.
Won the championship. It was back the 16 game schedules or whatever. Y'all were usually 9-7. Going into those playoffs, man. You won the Super Bowl. I think y'all were 9-7.
Every single championship, bro. We sneaked in.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you had to play in the wild card round and all that stuff. And it's like,
we went through every top contender, man. minus degree, minus 40 in Green Bay. Walked through everybody, every division winner, and then face Tom Brady and still win the championship. So yeah, you're right. It's one of those things that's just what we do, man. We need
all you need is a chip and a chair, sir.
That's it, buddy. That's it. A chip and a chair, and go all in when you need to, man.
That's right, bro. Pick your spots.
Pick your spots. That's right, baby. Yo, check race or just be conservative.
I'm just saying, right now, y'all got. I mean, you got some good bluffing chips.
The defense, the defense is legit too. You know what I mean? The defense is legit too. That secondary is pretty good too.
I knew adding Brian Burns to that defense and with Thibodeau already, and then those guys over there, man.
It's pretty huge.
Piece with the Giants, and I've always liked Brian Daboll. I think he's in a real tough spot. It's always tough to be a head coach in New York, man. That's
it is. Anybody, anybody coaching in New York is pretty wild. Oh man, and going from Daniel Jones to another guy here, maybe not identical, but I mean, bro, let's go back to your bingo card here, Cricket. If you would have told me, right, the Denver Nuggets were what, they're over 500? They're 3-2.
Broncos?
The Broncos.
You said the Nuggets. I was like,
I'm sorry, the Broncos. The Denver Broncos. Never mind. I'm switching sports here. That's how bad. That's how confused I am. You know what I mean? With when I see a team like the Broncos over here, rookie quarterback who hasn't played great, but actually had his best game as a pro this past weekend. They're 3-2.
And once again, here's one of those rookie quarterbacks that has a great defense.
Yes, that is true.
I had no idea. I think it was kind of unexpected for this defense to be as good as it is, but I'm pretty sure right now in most statistical categories, they're number 1 in the league.
Yes, sir. I think you're right on when you from 1 to 10.
And they even show a little resiliency yesterday. They get down 10-0. Should have went down 17-0. Patrick Surtain gets a 100-yard pick six, and this is a pretty good football team too, man. It's a really good defense. I'm not ready to crown them champions.
No.
I believe this was the first time they beat the Raiders since the Raiders moved to Las Vegas.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
So, they seem to be. I thought Sean Payton was kind of over the hill, but the guy's still a pretty good coach too.
Hey, rookie, did you see him and Bo Nix actually went at it in the sidelines? There was a disagreement there. Hey, I give the rookie credit, bro. He wasn't like backing down. He was like, he was pointing at somebody. I was like, somebody fucked up, man. You need to do something. Hold them accountable. I mean,
you want to see a little bit of that. You do. Yep. You don't want to see it happening every week where your guys are kind of each other's throats and all that stuff, but you love seeing your young guy willing to learn and wanting, kind of speaking his mind there, standing up for what he thinks is going on out there. But
especially the Sean Payton way, which is that old school mentality. It shows me that Bo Nix, it's not sensitive to criticism.
Right. Yeah. That's a good sign, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo Nix, the guy that obviously played a whole lot of college football at 2 different big-time stops in Auburn and Oregon, and you played a lot of big-time games in front of a lot of fans and all that stuff, so you could handle the moment.
Yeah,
you're Bo Nix there, and, you're seeing some good things out of this guy. I didn't know how well his game was going to transition to the NFL, but I thought he would be a serviceable quarterback because just the way all the things he's dealt with throughout his college career and the way he's able to respond, and was always giving his team a chance to win, man.
And look, serviceable for sure. I mean, even last week when the game was so bad that he threw a touchdown in the second half. Remember, he had negative yardage in the first half, but they still won. So he shows resiliency is what I look at, right? Whether it's ugly the way that he's doing it, but he shows resiliency.
I like the
and he commands the leadership of his team, and this is a team that doesn't have a lot of talent offensively. So
right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they got a lot of middle of the road solid dudes, but you don't have any dude.
There's not really a dude, right? You got
right. There's not dudes. A dude out there.
No, there's not a dude out there.
Middle of the road solid dudes. And sometimes that might be the recipe you need, man. You don't have any superstars, may not need them.
No, I mean, imagine what it could be. Year 2, if they go out there and get themselves, a really good wide receiver and good running back.
To still be a year or so away.
Exactly.
You're seeing this much progress this early on here, but got to make you feel good about your decision to bring Sean Payton in.
Yep.
Got to make you feel pretty good about everybody thought they drafted Bo Nix too high and all that stuff, but
getting rid of Russell Wilson, right? That's another thing that
was another load off their back.
I mean, you're still paying for the damn salary, but hey, he's gone and giving this kid the opportunity.
And you don't have to poison the locker room and stuff.
Yep. So 3 total touchdowns, right? He passed for 2 and he ran for another one. He's actually, I knew he could run, but he's actually much better than I thought he was going to be at this level using his legs. He gets out of trouble. He uses those legs to get out of trouble a lot. He's not like a risk taker, when it comes to like.
Very
I'm impressed
with him, dude, with his ability to escape the pocket and really make something with his legs. Like you saw that some in college, but that was never his strong suit, dude.
No.
You never, and you didn't expect it. It was just he was going to go up to the NFL where the speed is so much faster and it changes.
He's been scoring.
You weren't expecting him to be able to go do that.
No, he's had like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns already. And some of them are like, dude, some of them is like he's like spinning and going into the end zone, man. I mean, the dude is he's athletic too. I mean, it's like,
I would not have thought one of the most profitable anytime touchdown scores this early in the season would have been Bo Nix.
That's true. He's had a few.
I haven't bet it one time. I haven't made my money off of it yet, and I'll probably start trying. He won't get another one the rest of the season. But
you're right. You're completely right.
Early on, been very serviceable.
Yes. And again, like you said, with a very, very poor man's receiving court and even running back.
Dude, he definitely got a great value brand offense around him. So
there we go.
That defense is playing well, and
you got the Walmart brand out there, bro.
Yeah.
And talk about another game, and look, the 49ers, man, complete difference, right? Year over year. And let me ask you a question before we dive into this one. Is it time for teams to start rostering 2 kickers? I mean,
I think we should be able to have kind of like we have now where they've set in place. You can have the emergency quarterback or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you should be. I mean, I don't know how the hell
it's happening more often. It happened to the Giants earlier this year. It's happening often.
Hell do we not have anybody out there that can kick a damn field goal? Like these are still NFL punters and stuff too. Like all grew up playing soccer. Like what are we doing? How do we not have anybody else in these rosters that can kick a football?
That's crazy, dude. Even if it's like a 20 or 30 yard.
Out there probably grew up playing soccer that can kick the damn thing. Like it's like the Chiefs. Was it Justin Reed? He kind of kicks extra points. Like that guy can get like you don't. How does everybody in the NFL not have one of those guys?
I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, it's crazy. And another game for the 49ers, brother. They held the lead and they just held on to it. And I know the kicker, they lost their kicker and stuff like that, issues, but they've lost a couple of games like this year, right? Where they haven't been able to, keep a large lead, a 10-point lead. This is like the second one already in the last 3 games that they lose. There's not much you could ask Brock Purdy to do, right? Based on what he's given. But look, shout out to Brandon, you probably showed up. Well, shout out to the Cardinals, though. They pulled a tough one. They pulled a tough, ugly win.
Bro, NFL's crazy.
Yeah.
You have last week. I even said this earlier last week on the morning show or something. I was sitting there and I was like, I can't trust these damn Cardinals. I was all in on them when they played the Commanders. Thought they were going to beat them like a drum. They got beat like a drum and everything. And I was sitting there. I was like, so you can't tell me that 7's enough with them. I was like, which is all the more reason they're going to win this damn game straight up.
Yep.
And you sit there and first of all, these kickers need to toughen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, but we're not. It's just one thing to get injured if you're like Micah Parsons and you got to go up there and balls the wall every play. But I'm like,
well, they're not running, right? You
got to kick 5 times a game,
and you're not running. You're not running to kick the ball. You
can't get it together long enough to. I mean, here's the thing: you couldn't do no worse because clearly, when you go down, nobody on that entire roster is confident of kicking a football in a positive direction. So it couldn't be any worse. So I'd rather have you on one leg as somebody else on 2, clearly. And I can't get you to toughen up for 3 or 4 plays a game. What are we doing?
Dude, it's crazy.
They make $1 million a year too.
No, they're getting paid really well. Nowadays.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm tired of seeing all this money thrown at people. I'm like, you play the National Football League, bro. I don't care if you're a damn kicker. We need these guys to toughen up a little bit. This is horse shit.
It's unreal. It's really some weak sauce shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is really weak. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
It blows my mind. When I saw that, like, I always blows my mind when I'm like playing somebody in fantasy and their kickers up there, and I look and see the points, and all of a sudden I see like the game's still going. There's a Q tag by the kicker. I'm like, oh no, what have we done? And like, I think he got hurt though. Didn't he get hurt?
It was in the kickoff.
On the kickoff. See, that's kind of some of these new rules where kickers actually have to make play. I told Will this morning, I was like, maybe we should have something where we have like the kicker kicks off, and there's like a linebacker standing right there by the ball, or whoever you want a free safety or something. But like as soon as the kicker kicks the ball, he has to like dead sprint off the field. These guys are all pretty fast. Like I said, soccer players. He can get off the field before somebody gets there. But I mean, you're going to see more and more of this where these kickers get hurt because they got to make tackles, dude. And they're not built for that.
I know, man, and it's funny because their tackles is pushing somebody out of bounds, right? So I don't know how you're getting hurt.
Get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, if they get to the guy, most of the time they miss the damn push, because they
usually get hurt trying to get in the way.
Exactly.
That's when they pull their hammies and twist their ankles like this guy did and everything yesterday. And I'm like,
the what you call it, the training here, the strength training on these kickers, man, they got to step it up, bro.
Is it almost worth it? If you're a defensive special teams coach or a head coach, you just tell your kicker, like, look, if he gets through, just let him go.
Absolutely,
we're going to lose more value if we lose you trying to tackle him than if we just gave up that touchdown.
Absolutely, man. It's like most of these guys are like, just get out the way, man. Or just fall on the ground. Maybe triple.
Like that. I mean, it's either got to be something where they allow them to have a backup kicker there that can at least be.
But you're right. You're right about the punter, man. He should be able.
What is he doing?
The punter should be the backup kicker.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you're either a rugby guy or you're a damn soccer player or you're something. And like, you're an athlete. If you made the NFL, you're an athlete. How the hell can you not at least get the extra points in there?
Dude, that's what's funny, right? They played a sport before they kick field goals or place kicking that was with their legs. I'll guarantee you that kicker was not a fucking quarterback.
The majority of the kickers in the league, their best sport was not football.
No, exactly. They just play football because they were good with kicking
and
the ball.
It pays better than everything else.
Exactly. And then, oh my God, I got a scholarship.
Yeah, it's like, hell yeah. I can go play in the NFL versus the MLS.
Yeah, exactly. With a lot more money. You know what I'm saying? A lot more money and what? I don't have to run up and down the field. I really don't have to work out that much either. I just got to kick this. I just got to be consistent, man. That's all.
I literally, like Brandon Aubrey, man, I'm thinking about raising my kids to be kickers right now.
Honestly, dude, I think I'm going to start having my son start place kicking like crazy. That's not a bad idea.
They have kicking camps everywhere and stuff. And
absolutely.
I'm just saying, you can make a real good living as a kicker. As long as you stay healthy, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just don't push anybody. Don't try to block anybody. That's
yeah. Don't try to actually play football. Don't do that.
Talking about playing football, cricket. The next game, Sunday night game is the last one we have left. But I want to play something for you. And I want to get your reaction on Coach Tomlin's comments here on why they played the snaps. They kept Pickens to a snap count, which I it's beyond me. All right,
Kept to a snap count.
Yeah, listen to the press conference. Ready?
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and hold on. I just gotta get it up here.
You're good.
All right.
While you're getting that pulled up, yeah.
Let me know if you see Tomlin up there on the screen.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right, I'm gonna hit play. There you go.
We just wanted to kind of minimize his to get more productivity. We just trying to rep manage in terms of the totality of the big picture. He wasn't less of a focal point in terms of our intentions of what we wanted to do offensively, but we did want to cut his reps a little bit in an effort to get higher quality play, just in general. We just wanted to kind of minimize his
you got that right.
In an effort to,
I got it.
They wanted to cut Pickens reps for whatever reason. Is what, to get better quality plays later on.
Is this guy not in like his third NFL season? Something like that? He's still a young guy. He's not had I know he had the torn ACL back when he was at Georgia, but has not had any major that I recall.
Nope.
In the NFL. I know he's had suffered through some bad quarterback play up there.
Yes.
And they still don't have anybody that can get in the ball, but every time I saw it, his across his eyes on his eye black, he had written "always open," and that guy is always open, bro. I've said it for 3 years now. If they get quarterback up there, that's the best receiver in football.
This guy can make every catch 50-50s. He's fast. He's a combination that's rare. And dude, right now, if I'm George Pickens, I'm like, I can't wait for my fucking rookie contract to be over, man. Because
I am literally so ready to get out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. I know that's a great historic franchise, one of the winningest franchises of all time, and all that stuff. And I love Mike Tomlin as a head coach. But if I'm George Pickens, I cannot wait to get myself out of the Steel City, man.
I think it's time. I think Mike Tomlin's era is over.
He's
a hell of. Here's the thing. Another Bill Belichick comparison, right? He hasn't developed a single fucking quarterback since Big Ben, and Big Ben didn't develop. Big Ben was gifted to him.
Big Ben was one of the greatest talents ever, bro.
Exactly.
And
you know what I'm saying? He didn't need to. He didn't need to coach Big Ben.
And they I feel like they tried to find their next Big Ben and drafting Kenny Pickett, which obviously did not work out.
Yep.
Now you went about it this year. That's the thing. That's the problem with this team, is that they're always just good enough.
Yes.
The whole story with him never finishing under 500, but there's a lot of 9 and 8 seasons. They're out there.
Defense again. You got the best defensive player in the fucking world in TJ Watts, bro. Every single week, keeping you in the game.
But the problem with going 9 and 8 every year and squeaking into the playoffs to losing the wild card round or the divisional round is you're not going to have a top 5 pick.
Nope.
Which means you cannot take one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, which is what they had to do with Big Ben. I think they took him 3rd overall or something like that.
Yep.
When they got him, you got Kenny Pickett pretty high there, but it was.
No, late first round. I mean, it's not a franchise quarterback kind of value, I guess.
Yeah, he wasn't one of the dudes.
No,
you haven't had a shot at one of the dudes the last couple of years.
He was a possible dude, right? But
the
possibility went to shit. So
that's gone, man. He's sitting up there holding a clipboard for somebody. Now I can't even remember who he got traded to, but he's holding a clipboard somewhere. I think Philadelphia, maybe.
Yeah, it's in Philly. He's a backup in Philly, and now you have someone that thought he was going to be a dude, and he's done a commendable job. But he's not the dude, okay? And Justin Fields, as much as I want to say that this dude, he's earned the start to start of that team. Then you got Mr. Unlimited in the background there, who might be clear to play next week, and this is going to happen. He's going to get a shot. They got to put Russell Wilson in there.
Did you know Justin Fields has never won an NFL game where the opposing team scored at least 20 points?
No, I did not know that.
He is 0-23 when the opposing team scores 20 points or more.
Holy crap, dude!
I'm telling you, bro. That is not the answer. I like Justin Fields. I do think he's getting better, but the offense, all the different pieces of that offense has got all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
Defense is great. Offense is shit. And George Pickens should be ready to go.
And I thought, I don't know why people were so happy that Arthur Smith was going to be your offensive coordinator. When you saw what he did last season. When you look at the difference of Atlanta, and I know I get it, they got a better quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Atlanta this year, Kirk is getting comfortable. And if you look at the last 3 games, he's delivered some wins, clutch freaking drives there at the end. You could tell he's getting more comfortable. Drake London is having the season that every thought Drake London should have 2 years ago because, it's clicking.
What about Devontae Adams to Atlanta?
Oh, shit.
What about that?
There's so much possibilities.
I was just say, bro, Devontae Adams, he doesn't even care, man. He's like, I'll go to Carolina.
Devontae Adams, I think he'll go to the Colts, bro. Just get the ball thrown with Joe Flacco.
Hey, we got some room down here in Tampa, man. We got all the dudes, but nobody else say no to Devontae Adams.
Dude, imagine him with the way Baker is playing next to Godwin and Evans.
Dude,
that's crazy.
I'm just saying, man. I don't think that would ever. I don't believe.
No, I don't think that's gonna fly, but.
They don't really they took him forever just to pay Mike and Baker. They're not real. They don't like to give their money away either.
No, they don't. It's not a big market. It's not a major market team. So the revenue comes a little less than the other major market teams. So, man. So, no, but look, I thought Justin after last week, having a nice little second half, how he rallied the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought, okay, this is what we're seeing them now get loose, right? I know yesterday was a shitty weather.
Yeah.
Right. But however, the 2 quarterbacks don't make one that they have rostered right now.
Right.
So,
yeah. No, like I said, man, I think the Steelers, they're going to be just good enough again.
Yep. Don't make the playoffs. Don't make the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Because, they're in these games, even the games they've lost. They're in those games, 2 losses by a field goal, 2 combined 6 points. So it's not like we can really say that they're just done or anything like that. But I don't think they have what it takes to advance deep in the playoffs because they're going to run into one of these offenses that can really put up points. And they, the defense is going to wind up getting tired, man. You have an offense that just feels doing a good job, not turning the ball over and not, providing the other team with a short field and keeping the defense on the field too much to get tired or something like that. But eventually you're going to run into a game where that guy's going to turn the ball over some and the defense is going to be too tired in the fourth quarter to do anything.
And we'll see. I think we will see Russell Wilson in the starting lineup, being the starting quarterback here shortly.
And I don't think that makes it any better,
No, Mike Tomlin has let the door open. He hasn't backed up his quarterback who started 3-0 either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hasn't cemented, hasn't given him the all right, man, this is your team pat on the back yet. So yeah, that's why I see Russell Wilson coming in here and like you said, it's not gonna make a damn difference.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
But when you restrict snaps on your best receiver and probably one of the most talented receivers in the league, that is all in the coach. And whatever game plan, whether it is on Tomlin, whether it's on Arthur Smith, listen, dude, I'm not an NFL coach, but shit, when you have your only offensive weapon, all right, because your running game sucks as well without Jalen Warren in there. Those 2 guys Jalen and Najee need to be in the same, need to complete those snaps so both guys can be successful. Dude, you got it. You got to throw the football 15 times to fucking Pickens, even if it's triple covered.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you would throw it to anybody else. In that offense, I don't know why you throw it to anybody else.
Yeah. All right, man. Throwing about somebody else, man. Let's get here to the final spot of the game, the final spot of the show. And let's do our best bets of the week. All right, my dude. So listen, you are 3-0. All right, because we've done this like for 4 weeks. I'm 2-1. Overall record 5-1. All right, you are on fire, my friend. Let's keep the streak. And with that being said, why don't we go ahead and we start with you, Cricket? Who is your? Let me go. Hold on a second. Let me go get here to the. There we go. Who is your bet of the week?
I'm going to roll with the over in my Tennessee Vols against the Florida Gators this week, man. Kind of Josh Heupel's MO with his teams kind of in his career at Tennessee there. We tend to go over at home, tend to go under on the road, man. I've actually bet the under the last 2 weeks on the road in the Oklahoma, and we took that tough loss to Arkansas this past week.
Yeah.
I've been telling people, man, I don't know that with the new college football, new state of college football we have, transfer portals, NILs, and 12-team playoff, all that. I don't know we'll ever see an undefeated national champion again, man. It's going to become much more like the NFL where the team you see winning, it's going to have maybe even a couple losses. And so, I look for my Vols to bounce back in a big way this week. We always get hyped for that Florida game there. And I do think we're going to see some points in this thing. Tennessee a 15.5-point favorite early on in this one. I wouldn't mess with the side there, but I do think we're going to see a lot of points in this one. It may be because it's Tennessee blowout, But I know the defense has played very well for Tennessee. Only allowed 2 touchdowns last week too. But I expect the offense to click much better than they did at Arkansas last week. And 54 feels like a low number. I think it's going to go up throughout the week. It probably wind up getting up closer to 57, 58. And I like the over in this one, man. I think we're going to see a lot of points scoring early and often in this one.
Okay. Perfect, man. Look, this week, man, I'm actually going to stick with you on college college pick as well, man. And because I won my only parlay pick that I thrown this week, I'm going to go with another one, man. Okay. And don't ask me why I did this. I just found value and I paired them together. That's my deal. Hold on a second. Here we go. I like Liberty taking the spread and parlaying it with Utah. Both spreads for a nice, soft, 2 plus 265 odds. I think it's doable.
Let's go, man. I love those little plus 265s right there. Almost 3-1 on your money. Yeah, that's a good little spot, man. Utah.
I think it's something that's very doable, man. Liberty's putting up some points this year. They've done well against the spread. Not so much about Utah, but I think I saw the value on him. I'm gonna hammer it up, man. You know how it is when you pair two things. You'll be like, it's like good wine and good cheese, bro. And I'm not even a connoisseur.
That's right, man. I don't have a problem with either one of those picks right there. You talk about the being idle last week, so should have a lot of those guys healthy. Hopefully, Cam Rising's back in that offense because it makes that Utah team a lot better if he's in the lineup there. So I don't mind that under a touchdown for Utah there. And then Liberty been playing some good ball too, man. So I don't hate that. A little plus 265, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
man. So, but yeah, I think that we'll definitely take that. And before we leave, I want to give a shout out, man. I give a little shout out this weekend to my guys that we had them at this is not like it sucks when you do this here we go. We had it. Let me see if you see this. You see this on my screen? By any chance? Me teeing off. Do you see that by any chance?
Oh, we still have the best bets up there.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back. Let me go back to this over here. Let me bring this down. Wait a minute.
There we go.
There you go. So Cigar Clowns were a couple of guys that we had a couple of weeks ago on Cigars and Sports. They own a cigar brand. They sent me some cigars and stuff like that, and I sampled them. And really great sticks, man. And whoever doesn't know them, whoever hasn't had them. The Rodeo Clown is a great cigar. So I was playing golf this weekend, man. I did a little shout out to them. Little things for them. I put it on X. I posted up on their Instagram, but I want to share it with the folks, man. This is I'm 46 years old, bro, but I still can hit a little bit of weight. Not the perfect form, but there you go.
Love it, man.
And it was raining too, dude.
Y'all been getting a lot of that, huh?
Yeah.
Man, look at you.
It sounded really good.
Man, just ripping it down through there. Let's go.
I got to do over.
Sports, baby. Rain, sleet, or shine with the Rodeo Clown.
That's right. Let's go.
A minor.
Great cigar, by the way. I know you're not a cigar guy, but they're really good stogie. Great stick, man. If anybody's out there, pick it up. Great company, great guys, great cigars.
Love that, bro. Out there crushing in the rain and everything,
yeah,
man.
I don't play as often as I used to. My brother and my cousin who started picking it up this year, he's there like every weekend and stuff like that. And when I get on there, it's like, yeah, they have a good time. I mean, listen, dude, your boy has all the tricks of the trade. I got a sleeve, cooler, fit about 7 beers, goes in my bag. It's undetected. Wow. It has freaking ice. You know what I mean? It has like a sleeves with ice. Take it out, but yeah, man. My brother has one, so we bring it like 12 pack on the course, dude. So we have to like spend that money there. $10 beers.
That's awesome, bro. Love that, dude.
My guy. Well, listen, we will see you next week, everybody. Cricket, thank you for coming back this week. And hey, man, your boy E-Man from the AverageJoeSports.network. And always, my boy Cricket. See you next week.
Good one now.